Good morning. So in this practice today, we will work with balancing our strength with our flexibility, and beyond the physical aspect, we'll bring focused attention and meaning, intention into our practice. We'll start semi-supine, so on your back with your knees bent. And we begin, as always, by connecting to our breath. So a long inhalation. And a long exhalation. Really bringing our attention to our breath and noticing the way that the body responds to the inhalation. Feeling the expansion and the energy that comes with the inhale. And then noticing the way the body responds to the exhalation. Feeling the softening, releasing of tension. The way we're able to drop into our practice as we exhale. And being here for a moment or two. And noticing not only the way the body responds to the breath, but the way the breath affects the emotional state as well. The way that we feel calmer, and more centered. And we'll just be here for another 5 breaths. So maintaining here your attention, focusing on your breath, letting go of your distractions. So take your time. When you're ready, bring your right knee in towards you. So you're bringing here hip flexion, but a little more than that, feel the right side of your spine, the right side of your back. Maybe we feel some release there. And then when you're ready, bring the head towards your knees. So you bring maybe a little more hip flexion, certainly more spinal flexion. You can support your head with your hand if that feels a little stressful for your neck. And just take a pause here. You feel that you are activating your center here, your core as well. So notice everything that's happening in your body as you move from posture to posture. Maybe we can come a little further and reach for the foot, so there's more flexion still in the spine and in the hip. And then possibly kick away the left leg and really charge the left leg so the left leg is active, and dorsiflex the foot. So flexion in right hip and spine, activation in your core, recharging your left leg, dorsiflexing your left foot. Notice everything. If you're feeling strong, you can let go of your right foot and just maintain that position for a moment or two, so you really strengthen your center. Again, support the head if you need to. You come back to holding the foot, and we just unfold, we release into a half stirrup pose. So nice and slow, coming into this posture. So feel the way here, the neck and the back, the center releases, relaxes as you come into half stirrup pose. You maybe deepen that hip flexion. You feel opening through the back of the leg and the hip. And then if it's possible for you, you can straighten out through your left leg and just notice how that changes things a little bit, how you feel the opposition through the pelvis here as you lengthen away through your left leg and you draw your right leg in towards you. Try and keep the sole of the right foot looking directly at the ceiling. The shin of your right leg is vertical, so perpendicular to the floor, and your right thigh is close in towards your body as you can. You're dropping your shoulders down, so there's alignment across your upper back through your shoulder girdle, and you take another breath or two. Good. You can release from here, return to semi-supine, and again notice everything. The difference between the two sides, the two halves of your body. And then in your own time, you just begin that sequence of postures to the other side. So the left leg comes in, single leg Uttanasana, but notice that it's not just hip flexion. You're feeling maybe some release to the left side of your back, your spine. When you're ready, you can curl up, so you feel activation in your center as you come up. There's more flexion in your spine, maybe a little more flexion in your hip. More, you can reach for your foot, lift a little bit higher. Can kick away your right leg. Notice as you bring more strength into your center that you feel more awake, more enlivened. Nice strong right leg, dorsiflex the foot. Kick the elbows out to the side. Make sure you're still breathing. Possibly let go and hold the shape. So there's really strong center here. Come back to holding. Lift a little bit higher. And releasing into your half stirrup pose. Nice and slow. Release the head down. Feel the neck relax, the upper back, feel the center soften. You know, if you can't hold the foot here, if this is too much, if it misaligns your shoulders, you can hold the back of the leg or the calf, the ankle. Think about the whole body in the posture. So we're not just thinking about grabbing this foot, we're thinking about this alignment here in the shoulders and the upper back and the neck. So if this allows a more neutral alignment in your neck, your shoulders, then this is the option that we choose. Maybe this or this. The right leg can straighten, maybe. And you'll feel as soon as you straighten this leg, the opposition through your pelvis as you try and extend out through your right leg, you're flexing through your left side. Take a breath or two. And then returning to your semi-supine. And again, take a moment to notice how your body feels. We'll feel more in touch with the body, more connected now. And then when you're ready, bring both knees into Uttanasana, so we hug in. We'll feel a nice deep flexion in the hips now, more space in the lower back. If you feel that you can, roll yourself up and come directly into Malasana. If you need to come up into seated and then transition into Malasana, it's fine to do that. So finding a nice squat pose, you know that you can support your squat pose with blocks or blankets, whatever you have. Underneath your heels if you need to. This is Malasana. We take a few breaths here, again just settling into flexion in the hips, nice release through your lower back. Take a few breaths. When you're ready, you transition into Uttanasana. So the seat lifts, the head drops down, forward folds. Have a look at the feet, make sure the feet are parallel and spread out your toes. Look for more space by lifting your heart and lengthening, so you draw your breastbone forward. And then release the head down. Try and let the head drop so you feel release into the neck and around the base of the skull. Again, you lift your heart, you look for space. And you drop down again on the exhale and into the fold. Try and let the shoulders go. And on your next inhale, again, lift the heart. This time we bend the knees and we make preparation for Utkatasana. So you sit down and back. Nice strong legs. And then we bring ourselves part way up. Now your front supports your back here, your tail draws down. You look for a nice straight line between your head and your tail. Nice neutral spine. Our tendency here is to sway the back and let the abdomen soften, collapse. You draw your tail down until you feel the support through the front, not so far that you're rounding your back and tucking your tail under. So you find the right place and experiment if you need to. Rock your pelvis forward and back. When you feel that you're in the right position, you can bring your hands in front of your heart, or you can take your arms all the way up. Steady breath. Releasing forward and into Uttanasana. And bringing your fingertips a few inches in front of your feet. Bend your knees if you need to. So you have support, a little bit of support in your hands. And you see if you can climb up and onto your toes from here. So you're lifting your heels and bend your knees. And you see if you feel a connection through here, the activation through the arches of your feet, but there's activation in your lower belly as well. So the Pada Bandha in your feet, the arches of your feet activate. Uddiyana Bandha activates as your abdomen draws towards your spine. Try and let the head go. And you can take this into a toe squat if that feels okay for you. So you drop the hips down further. You find your balance just on your toe roots. You can keep your fingertips on the floor is fine. Or you can bring it into a balance if it feels possible. And then slowly back to Uttanasana when you feel ready. Okay, and sink the heels down. Really settle into your feet. Feel the way that the feet are more receptive after that lovely stretch, that nice toe balance. After really activating your arches. And then when you're ready, you plant your hands. Take weight into your hands and transition back and into downward facing dog. Good. So spreading through hands and feet. Coming up onto the toe roots again, so you lift your heels. And then bending your knees and squatting your dog. So you stretch through the feet again, but feel again as you lift your heels and activate your feet that as you come into squat, the belly draws back towards the spine. Try and keep the neck nice and easy. And then back to your dog. Sit bones lift and heels reach down. So we feel the opening in there, the backs of the legs and the shoulders lengthening through the spine. Again, notice everything, every feeling, sensation, every opening. We lower down very slowly. So we put the knees down. So tabletop pose, Bamanasana. And we take here the right leg back. So you're looking for a table balance. We don't want to tip the pelvis over to one side. We want to push right back into the right heel. At the same time, pull the femur into the hips so you feel that you're really firm and stable around the center. If you don't need your left hand on the floor, you could just bring your left hand here and feel the way you're firm in your center. Again, your front supports your back. From here, we're coming into a split dog. Now, if you need to come down, transition into dog and then split, you can. You may be able to come straight from here. Okay, so find what it is you need to do to bring yourself into dog. You need to push back through that right heel, engage down into the left toes and raise up. So you lift into your right heel, split dog. Try not to throw yourself out of alignment, but keep your pelvis square, equal weight in both hands, head dropping. Make sure you're not overextending that left knee. Your right knee comes in towards you. So again, you flex the hip, activate the center as you hug the left knee in towards you. Look at the space in between your hands and set your intention. You place your right foot through and forward, coming into lunge. As we come into the lunge, we square back the right hip, and that energy comes from your right foot. So you send the hip back, the spine can lengthen. You reach back through your left heel. And then slowly we lower the left knee. You want to feel, as you lower the knee, the front of the left thigh open and lengthen. So the hip flexors and the quads on your left side. You spend a moment just breathing down into the foundation here, so you feel that you anchor into your feet, into the toes of your left foot. And then if it feels okay, you bring yourself slowly up. Now you hug to the back of your left hip with your glutes, your hip extensors. You draw the tail down. You try not to collapse into your lower back. You lift your ribs, lengthen both sides of your waist. You can bring your hands in front of your heart, or you could take your arms up. Now, if you feel that you can press down into both feet and lift the back knee, you bring more strength, more power into your lunge. Or one more breath. Good. We plant the hands. Really lengthen out through that left side. And then step back with the right foot so we come straight into plank. You lower down through chaturanga, or you can lower knees and chest. We reach back through the legs. We bring the elbows in towards the side body. And we lift the heart. And then we send the legs back. Really charge your legs. Maybe lift the hands away from the floor. You feel strength through both your upper and your lower back. Opening all the way through your front lines. One more breath. Slowly down. Back into dog unless you feel that you need a moment or two in child's pose. In your downward dog, you can raise onto your toes, bend your knees, take a squat dog. Try and keep the shoulders way back here, let the head hang, really feel the stretch through the feet and into the toes. Back up again, stay on your toes, lift your sit bones, head is still dropping. Reach down through the heels, continue to reach up through the sit bones so you really feel the opening in the backs of your legs. When you're ready, the knees lower. And find your tabletop pose. And then your table balance. So your left leg is moving back. Remember, the tendency is to tip over towards the right. So you try and square your pelvis, kick back into your left heel, but draw your left femur into your hip. You maybe just feel that firming into your center with your right hand. You plant your right hand, you find a real foundation in the right toes, you lift back through your left heel, and you come into your split dog. Smoothly as you can, lifting left heel, okay, the left knee comes in, nice powerful center. You look in between your hands, set your intention and bring your left foot through. You find your lunge, square your left hip back, reach back through your right heel. And then lower the right knee, feeling the opening in the front of your right thigh. So again, you go slowly here, you reach the knee back, so you feel the opening in your hip flexors, your quads. When you're ready, you bring the chest, the torso up. You draw your tail down, so hugging again to the back of the right hip. So you feel as you draw your tail down, the front of the hip opens, the hip flexors open, the heart lifts. You can bring your hands in front of your heart or up alongside your ears. Drop your shoulders. And then optionally we can stay here or we can press into foundation and lift. Nice even breathing. We plant both hands and we find our plank. Really strong lines. Be sure in your plank that you're not sagging in your lower back or between your shoulder blades. So puff up a little bit into your lower back. Draw your navel towards your spine. Try and open in between your shoulder blades. Lower slowly. Keep the elbows in. And you take a moment to lengthen. Hands alongside your chest. Elbows in. Legs reach back. The heart lifts. And then the legs lengthen, and as you power back through your legs, you'll find they start to lift. Try and balance out the work in your upper and your lower. So sometimes we need to drop the chest a little bit to lift the legs. If you're too high, if you're too much cobra, you'll find that legs really difficult to lift. Lift the hands. It's even breath. Really try and splay your toes. Releasing. And I think this time we'll take a child's pose. So you sit back on your heels. So feel here that you regulate your breathing. And you breathe into your back. Not until you feel ready do you come into downward facing dog. From your dog, you walk your feet forward and you come into Uttanasana, releasing the head down. Look for more space. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale. Lie down. Good. Now lift the heart, bring the breastbone forward. And step your right leg back. We're looking for Parsvakonasana. So we're coming into a nice long lunge. And then we're turning the right toes out a few degrees. I'm going to use a wooden block here, but you can bring your forearm to your thigh as an alternative, or even your hand to the floor, but it tends to throw us out of alignment. Remember the work that we did against the wall in these postures. Remember how it feels to be in proper alignment here. You can bring your hand to your block or your forearm to your thigh, and really try and reach down through your tail. So your tail is reaching towards your back heel. You want to feel that you open your belly space and your chest space, that you have the space to breathe. And then you take the top arm all the way up. You look as much as you can for a vertical line. You don't have to look up with your head if that stresses your neck. You can keep the gaze down or straight ahead. Take another breath here. Good. Now try and keep the legs as they are. Try and keep this line through your arms, but bring your spine to vertical. So you press into the foundation and you come into a warrior pose. Try not to let that front knee fall in. Drop down through both of your sit bones. Your gaze is over your front hand. Just long breath. Perfect. When you're ready, you pivot onto the toes of your back foot. So there's a moment here of real balance. If you're using a block, you might set that block to one side, and then you step your back foot forward. So you press into your left, your right foot floats forward, lift your heart, lengthen, and then exhale into your fold. Good. So the other side, you inhale, lift your heart. You step back with your left leg. You find a nice long lunge. You bring the block just inside your right foot if you're using one. Alternatively, bring your forearm to your thigh. You bring your hand onto your block and you turn the back toes out a few degrees. You work for a moment here on your alignment. Naturally, we all throw the chest forward a little bit and towards the floor so your heart faces down. Try and turn that around so the heart faces forward. Again, remember the wall work. You reach down through your tail. Open up as much as you can and then take the arm up. You look up if it feels okay for your neck, otherwise you look forward. You breathe here. Good, now you steady yourself for the transition. Remember, you're keeping your legs as they are. You're keeping this nice long line through your arms. You're just bringing the spine to vertical, the arms horizontal, parallel to the floor. So you look out over your front hand, drop down into both sit bones. A steady breath. When you're ready, again, we transition onto the toes of the back foot. So we find balance here, kind of high lunge. We set the block off to one side. We stand into the right foot. So if you can't get your weight in that right foot, just slide it back a little bit so that you can press down and step forward lightly. You lift your heart and release into your fold. You can maybe bring the arms around behind the legs. You can catch to your wrists or your elbows, or you can thread around into an infinity bind. So you come behind your legs, cross the wrists over and bring the hands in front of your shins, your fingertips just around the sides of your legs. You draw yourself into your fold. You press the legs out into the arms a little bit, into the hands. And you draw in with your arms so you feel the opening in your upper back in between your shoulder blades. You wait, the breath to equalize. And then we release from the fold, fingertips to the floor, lift the heart, lengthen. And walk the feet back and into downward facing dog. This is the last dog. So maybe we feel here that we just need to release the legs, we can pedal out. We can reach up onto the toe roots again. Soften down onto the knees, back onto the heels, into your child's pose. Release the head down. You bring yourself slowly up, and we'll come over and onto our seat. So legs out in front. We'll bring the right leg over the left leg here. So you're coming into Matsyendrasana. We'll do this in stages. So your first version is here, and we might want to keep this left leg straight. If you'd like to take this a little bit further, you bend your left leg and curl your left foot around so it's alongside your right hip. Now, if you feel that that throws you out of alignment, you can use a block to raise both halves of your seat, of your pelvis, or you can straighten this leg out again. So you need to make sure that your pelvis is square so that your spine can lengthen. So this is the primary energy of coming into a twist, the lengthening of the spine. And then when we have length and space, we can turn and come into the twist. Now we need to keep this right foot rooted so the energy is moving down and into the right foot. And you'll feel then that the energy rebounds and the spine can lengthen. We find enough space to come into twist. Your right hand is just behind your sacrum. You can wrap this arm all the way around, or you can come into this version and send the energy down. So wherever you're comfortable, make sure that you're not bunching up your shoulders or your chest as you come into this. And we take another breath or two here. Good, you release from here, straighten out the legs. We'll take the same posture to the other side. So the left leg comes over the right. Optionally, you keep the right leg straight, or you sweep the right leg around so your right heel is alongside your left hip. You drop down into both sit bones and you lengthen. And then you take a turn around and to your left. So whichever version feels good for you, mindful that you're not bringing stress or tension into your shoulders. This is pretty much your last posture before we take some relaxation. So root into that left foot. Feel the energy rebound and the spine lengthen. Turn yourself into your twist. Long inhale. And long exhale. Releasing from your twist, straightening out your legs. Bringing yourself onto your back, so you come into semi-supine. So we come back to where we began. Take a big inhale and a long sigh, and exhale. Hug the knees in towards you again and just balance out your spine. You might want to rock side to side. and then coming down and into whatever position you feel is good for you to relax. So you can be semi-supine, you can open all the way out into Shavasana, in which case you take the feet a little bit wide, wider than your hips, the arms wide, wider than your shoulders, palms up. We let the shoulders drop down, we let the legs relax. You might feel that you just need to jiggle your legs a little bit, adjust your shoulders or your neck. Maybe roll the head from side to side if you're feeling that the neck is tense or stressed. And a big sigh as you let go of your practice. And we should feel that by really bringing our attention into our practice, bringing our attention to the details of the practice, that we've let go of our distractions, that we feel more centered, more grounded, that we've balanced the work, the strength with the flexibility. And I can leave you here, leave you to your relaxation today. Take as long as you need until you feel that you have fully relaxed, fully let go of any stress or tension. You've allowed your body to rest and restore. So namaste, enjoy your relaxation and enjoy the rest of your day.